This time, I'm going to be responsible. You get paid. You feel rich for, I don't know, 11 minutes? Then a week later, you open your bank app and think, wait, where did it go? Because it's not one big purchase. It's death by 1,000 little swipes. A couple of delivery orders. A few quick convenience store stops. Subscriptions you forgot existed. A random, treat yourself, purchase because the day was annoying. And then your brain goes, all right, I guess I'm just bad with money. But here's the truth. Most people aren't bad with money. They're just leaking money in ways they don't notice. And today, I'm going to show you how I cut my expenses by about 30% without feeling poor. No weird stuff, like eating plain rice in the dark. Just a smarter system. My name is Jack, and I spend way too much time thinking about cutting my expenses without feeling poor. If you're someone who struggles to cut expenses, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Most people think cutting expenses means cutting fun. So they try the no coffee, no happiness, no life plan for 2 weeks, and then rebound so hard they spend even more. That's not a financial plan. That's a crash diet for your wallet. Here's the real goal. Not spending less, but spending less on low joy things and protecting high joy things. That's how you cut expenses without feeling poor. Let's anchor this in reality. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average U.S. household spends about $78,000 per year. And Bankrate found 34% of workers live paycheck to paycheck. Even more surprising, Federal Reserve data shows that many adults can't cover a $400 emergency with cash. So, if it feels like money disappears, you're not alone. But here's the interesting part. Fixing this is more psychology than math. Here's the system that worked for me. Step 1. Find the spending that doesn't buy happiness. Step 2. Cut with substitutions, not deprivation. Step 3. Add friction to impulse spending. Step 4. Lock the system in with defaults. Let's break it down. Step 1. Define what 30% actually means. When people hear, cut expenses 30%, they panic. They imagine cutting rent by 30%. That's not happening unless you move into a closet. Instead, look at 3 spending layers. Fixed necessities, which includes rent, insurance, and debt. Variable necessities, which includes groceries, gas, and utilities. Discretionary spending, which includes eating out, subscriptions, and shopping. Most people can't cut fixed expenses easily, but discretionary spending? That's where flexibility lives. Example. If your monthly income is $3,500, your spending might look like fixed necessities, $2,200. Variable necessities, $700. Discretionary, $600. Trying to cut 30% of the total would be over $1,000. Hard. But cutting 30% of discretionary spending? That's $180 per month. If you also trim 10% from variable spending, that's another $70. Now you've saved $250 per month. That's $3,000 per year, without moving, suffering, or canceling your entire life. So the first move is simple. Look at last month's spending and ask, how much of this was optional? That number is your opportunity. Step 2. The joy per dollar rule. This is the cheat code. Most people think they miss spending. They don't. They miss how spending makes them feel. Comfort, convenience, reward, escape. So when people cut spending randomly, their brain rebels. Instead, rate discretionary spending by joy per dollar. Ask 3 things. How much joy does it give you? How much does it cost? How often does it happen? Then cut the low joy, high cost, high frequency spending first. Example. Food delivery twice a week might cost $18 times 8 times per month equals $144. But maybe it's only a 6 out of 10 experience. Meanwhile, a streaming service you use daily might cost $15 and be an 8 out of 10. Which one should go first? Not the thing you love. The thing you barely enjoy. That's how you cut spending without feeling poor. Step 3. The big spending leaks. When I did this, I focused on what I call the big 5 leaks. First, convenience spending, delivery food, random snacks, quick coffee stops. Convenience is expensive because it charges you a premium for being tired. Instead of banning it, I planned it. One takeout night per week. If delivery drops from 8 times per month to 2, $144 becomes $36. That's $108 saved immediately. Second, subscription creep. Most people don't just have Netflix. They have Netflix, Spotify, iCloud, YouTube Premium, apps, free trials they forgot, small charges that quietly stack. My rule became simple. One music service, one video service. Everything else has to justify itself. Third, impulse purchases. These are identity purchases. I deserve this. I didn't ban them. I added a 7-day delay rule. If I still wanted it after a week, I could buy it. Most impulses disappear before then. Fourth, transportation leaks. Extra trips, gas station snacks, convenience rides. Batching errands into one run day saved more than I expected. Fifth, food decisions. When you're tired and hungry, your brain picks the fastest option, usually the most expensive one. So, I simplified meals temporarily. Just 6 cheap meals I liked, repeated for 2 weeks. Not forever, just enough to reset spending. The hardest part of saving money isn't math. It's psychology. Your brain hates loss. If cutting expenses feels like losing your lifestyle, you'll quit. So instead of removing things, replace them. Replace random takeout with one planned takeout night. Replace expensive fun with cheaper fun that still hits the same emotional need. Also, remember this. A lot of feeling poor actually comes from comparison. Your brain sees vacations, cars, fancy dinners on social media, and thinks you're behind. But real wealth is simpler. No panic when bills show up. Options. Breathing room. Buying what you value without guilt. Here's the system that made this permanent for me. First, separate accounts. One account for bills, one for spending, one for savings. When everything is mixed together, you never feel secure. Second, weekly spending limits. Monthly budgets feel abstract. Weekly budgets feel real. If you have $600 discretionary per month, that's about $150 per week. When the $150 is gone, you're done for that week. Not forever, just until next week. Third, 24-hour rule. Any unplanned purchase over $30 waits 24 hours. Impulse fades quickly. The 7-day starter plan. If you want to try this without overthinking, here's the plan. Day 1, review last month's spending. Day 2, rate your top 10 discretionary purchases by joy. Day 3, cut 2 low-joy expenses. Day 4, schedule 1 weekly treat. Day 5, set a weekly spending limit. Day 6, add friction. Remove saved cards from apps. Day 7, move the saved money into a separate account. Do that and you'll feel the difference fast. Let me be honest for a second. A lot of people try to fix money problems with willpower. That almost never works. Because willpower runs out. Systems don't. And when you build the right system, cutting 30% doesn't feel like deprivation. It feels like you finally stopped paying for things you didn't even want. So here's your move. Comment 30% if you're trying this, and tell me which category is stealing your money. Delivery? Subscriptions? Impulse shopping? And if you want more practical money strategies that don't require you to become a monk, hit subscribe. Because the goal isn't to feel poor. The goal